Alright everybody, Ringing Worm here, bringing you another video. This is going to be a part 2 of the last video I did. I got some feedback on there that I thought was good information and that I wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully this will be a quick video, but we'll see how it progresses. Just really quick, I wanted to show you guys these two Hot Toy figures. I've already showed you Batman from Batman v Superman, and I've briefly shown you this Michael Keaton Batman in my collection case. So just really quick, the reason why I'm highlighting these figures is I ordered this Batman right here directly from Sideshow Collectibles, and the comment that was put on the last video was I need to be more clear on Sideshow Collectibles because it is hard to get the figures from them all together. So just to be clear, most figures that you order from Sideshow Collectibles you have to pre-order. Not all of them, but most of them, especially the highly collectibles. So I'll just give you an example. This one is no longer available on Sideshow Collectibles. Sometimes they do a re-release, but it's not common. And I pre-ordered this one last year in like May or something like that. As soon as it went on pre-order, I ordered it, and then it came almost May the following year. So just understand that if you do go through Sideshow, which I do advise, because you're getting it directly from an authorized dealer, which means you're not really going to get screwed. If there's something missing or broken when it ships, generally they'll replace it for you. But this is a Sideshow Collectibles Batman v Superman exclusive from Hot Toys, and that's how I got that particular figure. This one I bought off of eBay, and one of the comments on the last video was people have to be careful of cheap knockoffs. So when you're buying off of eBay, you absolutely have to make sure that you know what you're buying, and I'll show you that in a second. But I bought this from an individual who was thinning out his collection, no longer wanted it. It was already opened. I got it. It's pretty much a Sideshow, or excuse me, a Hot Toys collectible, and I absolutely love it in my figure. You cannot get this one on Sideshow either. I had to buy this one from eBay. So you really need to be aware, and I did talk about this in the last video, but I'm going to go into more detail here in a second. You really do need to know what you're buying if you're going to buy licensed stuff, because like I mentioned in the last video, sometimes you get you're not getting everything you think you're getting, or it doesn't look exactly the way it looks when you receive it. So this one I ordered directly from Sideshow. This one I had to order from eBay. Also, I just want to point out that I'm not an expert collector. I do this as a hobby more than I do. This isn't my career. I don't make money on any of these figures. This is how I have figured out how to buy them. If you have a better way or anything like that, please share that. My goal isn't to make anyone an expert. It's just to show you how I got into it and the things that I like. Obviously, I collect DC things because I don't think I've shown one thing that's outside of DC, but I really don't have much that's not in the DC lineup. So just keep that in mind, and I'm going to go to my computer, and I'm going to show you some of the things I was just talking about as far as what to look for and what not to. Okay, so last video I showed you this Wolverine, and I was showing you if you want to put this in your collection that you're welcome to do so, but this isn't a licensed figure. So I'm going to show you what I mean by this isn't a licensed figure, and you have to be careful because there are cheap knockoffs. This may not meet the quality standards that Hot Toys puts into their figures, and in some cases you could end up getting screwed. So you see this picture, and the picture looks great. It looks like Wolverine. The clothes look great. They fit great. His pose is great. All that type stuff. But this is basically an individual who put this together, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So if you scroll down, you can actually see several different versions of this same figure. Him in a suit, him and his other one. This one, I actually don't think this one looks very good at all if you look at it. Look at his neck. His neck just looks out of proportion. He doesn't look like he's the right size. His hands look extremely small. His legs look too skinny. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about if it's not a hot toy, it's not really it's not something that I'm going to end up buying. I said in the last video that you could buy that if you're happy with that, then go ahead and do that. I wouldn't do that for several reasons, and here are some of those reasons right here. So when you go into the description, it talks about what it actually is, and it says 1/6 scale custom Wolverine head sculpt figure accessories, full set with claws and the old Hugh Jackman, etc., etc., etc. It says on here what it comes with. It says 1/6 scale Wolverine. It comes with the head sculpt without the neck, muscular male figure body, black suit, white shirt, tie, etc. I'm in the wrong one. But on this one it says it's just it's a lot more generic. And again, you can buy this. You just need to be aware of what you're buying. I mean, it says here it's unbranded. It's in the action figure. The character family is Wolverine. Sometimes you don't get all this stuff that is listed right here. So obviously this is what it comes with. But this is just somebody who put this together. They probably grabbed several things from different companies. You might not get your figure that looks just like that, and you need to be wary of those third-party sellers. So I go through Hot Toys and Sideshow Collectibles almost exclusively, or I look for that brand specific. So if I'm going to buy one of these figures, I'm looking for the specific brand name that certifies that it's a hot toy. So you can look at all these different variations. I mean, there's tons of stuff on here, as you can see, but it just comes down to what you're looking for. So here's an example. I showed you the Batman just a second ago. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. This is a prototype looking body. As you've seen in the picture I've shown you before, mine is much more detail than this one is. But if you look down here, it says, if I can get that stupid thing to stop coming up, maybe. It says right here, official distributor Sideshow. It's a Hot Toys and it's a movie masterpiece collection. So when I talk about MMS or whatever, that's what I'm talking about. And then if you did decide to buy this particular one, you can go down into the descriptions again, and it gives you kind of a list of what you're actually buying. So it says the brand, Hot Toys. So that's obviously what they're telling you that they're selling you. It's 1/6 scale. It's an action figure. It's in the character family of Batman. A little bit more detail. It says all the things it is. It's in the original shipper. And that's how I buy from Hot Toys. Now, there are figures on here that you can buy that come directly from Hong Kong. And when you buy those items from Hong Kong, if you go to Dean Knight, or not Dean Knight, if you go to Budget Stark, and I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in this video, but if you go to Budget Stark, he talks about the differences in collecting and what it's like actually being in Hong Kong, because some of these places that ship are they're literally knockoffs. You can literally walk down the street in Hong Kong and buy a knockoff version of these characters, and you're not getting a hot toy. It looks like a hot toy, but it's not. And he has a whole segment on different characters that look the same, that may even be from the same mold. That the company that's making the knockoff uses the same mold that Hot Toys used or used a similar mold, but are using that to make a cheap knockoff figure. So make sure that when you're buying these figures that you look at more than just what's on the picture, because obviously this picture right here is also a Sideshow collectible. It's a Hot Toys and a movie masterpiece. But it could easily be a knockoff company that's selling it. So the biggest thing that I'm trying to convey in this video is there are different places to get Hot Toys. I primarily go through Sideshow. If you're going to order through Sideshow, you're going to have to pre-order it. If there's a figure that you can't get on Sideshow, then you have to order it through eBay, Big Bad Toy Store. One of the comments says that there's not really a big markup on the MSRP from Big Bad Toy Stores. I think it just depends. Some of the figures I've looked at have had markups on them, but other figures might not. The biggest thing that I'm trying to say is do your research. Do your research. If you're not willing to pay $293 for Harley Quinn, then don't pay $293 for Harley Quinn. I did not pay that much for Harley Quinn. I paid $266 and some change for this figure, and I'm going to be doing a review on her shortly. But if you don't want to spend that much money on that figure, then don't spend that much money on the figure. You might be able to get it cheaper if it's used or a little bit damaged, but you're still going to end up spending over $100. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you look at all these figures, even the cheaply made ones, they tend to go for over $100. But this is an example right here. I have on pre-order through Sideshow, and I'll pull that up in a second, the battle damage version of this. Now, if I wanted this figure right here, I would not be able to get it through Sideshow because it's not available right now. They did do a re-release on this figure. I didn't see it in time, and I still didn't get my copy of it. Again, if I wanted this figure, I would not be able to get it through Sideshow. I'd have to go through eBay or another third party. So again, I go through Sideshow because I get some perks to going through Sideshow. I know I'm getting it from an authorized dealer. I'm not worried about getting a cheap knockoff or anything like that. And everything else you're going to be taking a risk on. So keep that in mind. I have this on pre-order, so I'm just going to go on here really quick and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So Sideshow Collectibles, that's their logo. I absolutely love this. I love this site. It's a great site. Okay, so I'm going to go to my orders. And as you can see, I've got all these figures on pre-order. So this one just shipped. I just received her a couple days ago. I did a review video on it. I haven't posted up because I still have to edit it and do other things to it. I have this Wonder Woman, and hopefully Wonder Woman will ship today or tomorrow because she's finally available. And as you can see, there's different colors for where your characters are in the process. So like once it's shipped, it turns a different color. Once it's fully paid for, it turns a different color, whatnot. Again, pre-ordered. And this is the one that's coming sometime in October, hopefully. And it's the one I just showed you, but the battle damaged version that I just showed you in the eBay picture. So I'm going to add this one to my collection. I pre-ordered it. I did not want to wait because they're hard to get. And this one I definitely want to add to my collection for the Batman v Superman. So I'm going to do that. But if I wait, and I don't even know if this is still available, to be honest with you, but if I wait, I have to order this on eBay. And the problem with ordering it on eBay or ordering it through Big Bad Toy Store or whatever, sometimes the characters become more expensive than they are from Sideshow and Hot Toys exclusively. And not always, but they do sometimes become more expensive. And if you want to take the risk of waiting for them to buy on those websites, then that's one of the risks you take. So I'm not trying to preach to anyone. I'm not saying that you have to buy exclusively from these places, and I'm certainly not trying to mislead from anyone. I buy from Sideshow. I feel comfortable doing that. I pretty much gathered almost every character that I want in my collection, either through eBay or through Sideshow. But I've only started collecting these in the last 3 years, so there's figures that were made before I started collecting that I just can't get unless I'm willing to spend more money, i.e. my Dark Knight Rises Batman and my Catwoman. Those were not available through Sideshow, so I had to order them third party. The Michael Keaton Batman, I had to order through a third party. I had to order both Christopher Reeve Supermans that I have in my collection. I had to order those through a third party as well. The Man of Steel, the Batman v Superman Man of Steel, Batman from Batman v Superman, Harley Quinn, and the Joker all came from Sideshow Collectibles, and I've earned up a ton of points through that, and I'm going to use those points through Sideshow eventually. You just have to decide whether or not you want to buy through Sideshow or eBay or Big Bad Toy Store. I think one of the commenters said through Toy Wiz. I'm not familiar with that particular site. I don't like to order through those other sites because I'm not overly familiar with them, so I just kind of look for deals. So if I'm going to buy it from another place, I look for the cheapest I can get it somewhere else. But even at Big Bad Toy Store or Toy Wiz, whatever, you're limited by what they have in stock, and you might not be able to get the figure you're looking for through them. So just keep that in mind as well. Guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope this clarifies some things. Again, like I said before, one commenter made the comment that some of these items really shoot up in value over time, so you might buy it for $265, as you can see on here, and then it'll end up being $450 in a year, or it might be $500. Or if you look at other characters that I have in my collection, like the Hot Toys Jor-El, you're looking at $125. Original price was over $200. So some items are not going to retain their value. Like anything, you've got to do your research and realize that if you're doing this as an investments, like any investment in the stock market or baseball cards or whatever you collect, go up and down with what people are willing to pay for them. So far, since I've been collecting, most of these items have gone up in value. Some of them have gone up to ridiculous value. So I hope this has been beneficial. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a comment below, and as you can see from this video, I will definitely try to respond to it, either via text or via video. Please share and like this video. Subscribe to my channel. You'd be helping me out a lot. And again, thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful afternoon.